It is really interesting because it's a global media event, and people are coming here from all over the world, from different media. We have national media here, we have international media here, targeting different audiences. But journalists are not the only ones doing communication at the summit, obviously. It's also the delegations who want to get their message across. You have the NGOs wanting to get their message across. And that makes it really interesting that you have so many different stakeholders with different messages, different target audiences also. And we just want to analyze what's exactly going on and how they are doing it.
And your speciality is communication. This is a particularly complex conference. What sort of what have you picked up so far about the number of different voices that are coming out?
So far, not that much because it's the first day of the conference. But looking back at previous conferences, there are obviously many different voices. As I was just saying, you have many different delegations from different states who really are very focused on getting their point across, and so it's going to be interesting. We don't know yet how this conference will turn out. That's why we are here to kind of see what's going on and to talk to people, how they're doing it and what they do differently because of their different background and their different audiences, but also interestingly what might be what are they doing the same as everyone else. So it's going to be interesting.
How do you think that good communication can affect the outcome of a conference? Do you think it can actually affect negotiators within the rooms when they're talking to other countries?
I'm not really sure if I can answer that because it really depends on the negotiators and how they follow the media, but I think they do, absolutely. And so it can have, I think, a slight effect on how conferences go, because I think there's also some sort of communication between delegations which is done through the media. So it's not kind of a direct communication only here at the conference in the negotiations, but also this indirect communication. So what is somebody saying to the media then publishes it, everyone can read it, everyone reacts to it, and that obviously has some effect on how negotiations go. That's what I assume, at least.
And I guess that's an interesting point, because many people say that in the first few weeks of conferences like this, you do get releases from certain states, and in a sense they're not announcing anything new, but they're testing the water. Is that something you'll be interested to observe?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting what countries are doing. There has already been some research actually at our university on that on previous summits, like in Cancun 2 years ago. It was really interesting to see how different actors approach this. Some are actually very, reluctant and, as you were saying, very patient with their communication efforts and really, test the waters and see what's going on, how can we react to it. But you always learn from what you're doing at the conference and what works and what doesn't work. And sometimes you also have actors who go into the conference and who really, are very determined on what they want to bring across, and they say it right at the outset, like, this is, the bottom line, this is the red line, this is what we want, and that's it. And that's really interesting to see who's doing that and how different it can be depending on the actors.
And are you expecting to see an imbalance between I guess what we call the global north and the global south in terms of the power and ability to project and communicate at a conference like this?
That's actually what we are researching right now, so I don't have an answer yet to that. Our research project just started this year. It's our first conference. We are here as a team doing the interviews. We're also doing an analysis of the media, of the content analysis, so we're actually looking at what will end up in the media. Does this summit has any effect on media coverage and so on? And we don't know yet what's going to happen. Usually there's a tendency in mainstream media to give more space to, like, elite actors, elite political actors. And they have, but that's not, confined to climate change or this conference. It's like a general finding that they often have some leverage. But you know, you have NGOs who are very established by now and who are actually quite good at, especially, you know, creating images, visuals that are very striking, and the media use that because climate change is a very complex topic and it's hard to visualize because it's such a long process. You need good snapshots, and you know, Greenpeace, WWF are actually quite good at creating interesting images, and the media picks them up very gladly. So there's room for that too, but how exactly that turns out, that's actually what we are interested in also, and we're trying to find out.